Hello everyone, welcome back to the SMITE Guide to Yemoja. This is Slash. Now, I'm doing Slash next because I do kind of want to give you an example of a late game Yemoja build. And I'm more likely to get that in Slash because the GP5 is just insanely high here. Also, I would like to point out that, for the most part, as good as Yemoja is in Conquest, in my opinion, she's a little bit better in every other mode except Arena. Because just the amount of pressure she can bring to bear in the early game is so intense that some of these faster game modes, such as Slash, Joust, etc., these really can allow you to slap a lot of people very quickly early on, if you build correctly. Now again, we'll still be going towards very likely Gauntlet of Thebes first, unless they have a really wild team composition. So we're still going to, if only I could speak, we're still going to want to take the early game a little bit slowly, but we can apply a lot more pressure than any opposing Guardian will be able to in the same span of time, which is nice. Furthermore, we have two strong auto-attackers, which is really going to benefit us by quite a bit. So now we have to decide, do we want War Flag, or are we going to go for potentially Animosity, right? That's what it's going to essentially come down to. In this particular context, let me see, considering their team composition, this is going to be an interesting thing. I'm going for War Flag. Why am I going for War Flag? Well, primarily because the enemy team is very, very aggressive. It's possible the Kali will build hybrid or possibly even full tank, and the Ormungandr is very likely to build tank as well, but the Morrigan, Vulcan, and Kernanos are not likely to, and that's a lot of damage output. And like I said, the Kali is more likely to build hybrid, so defensively they're very weak. Our best bet in most of these situations is going to be, rather than me trying to assist by doing damage of my own, my better option is to actually use War Flag to increase the amount of damage my allies will be doing, as well as my own for healing, and that will balance out to me just being able to do a lot more with that. We're also going to go for the level 2 cloak, and off we go. We're going to go ahead and use this to speed ourselves up. But what we're really going to be looking to do here, because of the just high potential damage output of the enemy team, is we're going to emphasize the War Flag because it heals allies, it increases their move speed, which will help them get away or chase if they need to. It'll increase their attack speed, increasing the amount of damage they're dealing out. Okay, I'm just taking free hits for no reason here because I wasn't paying enough attention. But War Flag in this situation is the better choice. Okay, if they had a standard composition, 3 damage dealers, 2 frontliners, yeah, I probably would have gone for Animosity, would have been able to compete against the enemy's frontline, but they only have one serious frontliner. I am somewhat curious as to what Kali is building. I think it's very important for us to figure out what Kali is building. And there's that. Notice I was able to get some damage on Kernanos as well. I am not taking that damage buff because I know better. I'm getting slapped decently hard here. Oh, Kernanos is going aggressive. Okay, we're going to go ahead and heal people up over here. Didn't quite want to use that then. My mouse is a little bit more sensitive than I thought it was going to be. Okay. I'm just going to heal you up right here. We're going to heal you up, and we're just going to let you people ride. What is she building? She's not building hybrid at all. She is building, it looks like, full damage. Okay, that is important to note. Ouch. Now, can we actually pick something up here, or are we just kind of farting around? What's going on? She almost got him. Yeah. Need healing. Okay. Just gonna heal you up here. That's fine. Okay, that was a really impressive ult by Vulcan there. He almost killed me. He took a lot of damage for that. Yeah, that wasn't even Vulcan. Oh, that's cool. That was a really good play by the Morrigan. Oops, I gotta go back. I don't have the health for this. It was a good pickup, good pickup. And we are out of here. I used the wrong key again. Alright, so that worked out quite well for us. And it looks like we have... There we go. Just help deal with that swine turret. I'm kind of surprised I didn't hit him, but alright. That's a bit unfortunate. He walked right back into that. What are you doing, punk? That's fine. I mean, calls for enemy missing in Slash are not very common, in all honesty. Hello. I was really going ham on this. Oh, here we go. Nope. Back it up. So close to killing her. That's a shame. That's a shame, but that's okay. Just heal people back up here. There we go. Don't really have the opportunity for that. I'm waiting for her jump. Nope. Didn't have my ult up at that point. That's fine. What is her problem? Very nice. And then... Did not intend to steal that. I was trying to just stun her. I didn't think that was going to kill her at that point, although she dropped down in HP a little bit more than I was expecting. Shiva's really slapping hard already. Is he? Oh, he's built up this sledge, that's why. Okay, that makes more sense. Let's everyone get healed, huh? Now notice that whenever the waves are up, I'm primarily trying to heal with my auto attacks. This is because when the minion waves are both fighting, obviously I'm not going to need to tank them or anything like that. But during team fights, I'm relying way more heavily on my abilities. It's really how you want to use Yemoja. I'm actually going to go for Pridwin because I really want that cooldown reduction. Now you may notice that I haven't really talked much about Breastplate of Valor. If you compare... Yemoja, my Yemoja gameplay to the Xingtian gameplay, you'll notice that whereas I built Breastplate of Valor a lot on Xingtian and even on Khepri and to some extent Ymir, I really haven't built it for Yemoja, and that's just simply because even though it does offer 20% cooldown, you really don't need the MP there because only 20% of that is being converted anyways, so it's not really, you know, good enough to even bother with. So I typically try to get my cooldowns from other places. Pridwin actually is hugely important for Yemoja for that reason. That is both protections, a really useful passive that can help you deal damage if you decide to go in that direction, and it provides you with a health shield as well. It's just incredibly powerful if you are sufficiently aggressive with Yemoja, and of course, given Yemoja's kit, that's pretty easy to do. So, it's just... Oh, I didn't aim far enough away. Where is she now? Alright. But I don't have my ult. Thank you. I was having a really hard time hitting him. No, you're not. That was a nice ult by Neath, though. You have beads? Look, I can understand nowadays with the way that with that particular Aegis that deals damage that reflects damage back to enemies. I can understand why supports would build that, because the maximum amount of damage you can reflect depends on your max HP. Obviously, Guardians are going to have the most of that. That makes sense. It does not make sense to have beads as a Guardian. In the previous season, all the way up through my entire support career, all the way up to last year, I would be heard to say that supports should never build beads or Aegis. Because of the new Aegis that does reflect the damage based on, a percentage of your max HP, I can now make a case that yes, supports can get away with building Aegis and make that work as a support. I have changed my stance on Aegis for that reason. I have not changed my stance on beads because, quite frankly, you really still shouldn't have beads as a support. Now, some people will say, well, you can get, cooldowns. You're removing a couple of seconds of cooldown from your abilities when you use that. Sure. Alright, let's go with that logic. Why would you want that over the Cloak of the Ascetic, which does the same thing over time, but also restores the health and mana of you and your allies, giving you a longer lease on life to tank longer, helping your allies out. And this is what I mean by the ability of Yemoja to put down a lot of pressure. That was a series of slows and stuns that I was able to continuously chain together and put out with absolutely no issue. I could have stolen that as well. This time I actually caught on to how much damage was being inflicted and did not. And now we can theoretically kill Vulcan here. Or just cut off Kenanos apparently and do that. Go ahead and restore here. There we go. That was more of a desperation move. I didn't want her killing anyone and healing. Fortunately, the Shiva got it, which is very good, because I did not actually want to kill her. That was just, if I kill her, I kill her. It's more important that she dies than anything else. Curses, okay. I actually was expecting that to miss initially. I didn't think they were going to walk right into it. Okay, that's an ult. We are going to try to keep her alive here. That's going to be pretty interesting. She is staying way too long. This is unfortunate that I can't stop him. Okay, that's fine. Get slowed. That was the world's longest sprint, but okay. Shoot, that wasn't what I wanted to use. I gotta get out of here. No, I can't get out of here yet. I'm dead. There was no way I was getting out of that. That's alright. That's alright. Now, my next move, we're going to get Shogun's Kasari. They have 3 magic damage. Even though Jormungandr is a support, we still want to take this pretty cautiously. Heavenly Wings? Yeah, we're going to want to chase, I think. No. I want the magic shell. So, anyways. Yeah, so far so good. Just speed ourselves up a little bit here. We have some cooldowns now, so... Shogun's Kasari, by the way, specifically for Neith, Freya, myself, the cooldowns, and the magic protections. Wait a minute. You completely whiffed that. I know what she's going to do. She's going to do that. Not ideal as a wave, but it's sufficient. Not surprised I killed her. That's absolutely slaps, honestly. Okay, good, good. I keep using that by accident. Get shelled. Wow, he took a ton of damage. I missed that. That's fine. We're leaving. We're just straight up leaving. Come on. There we go. What do you think you're doing? Okay. Oh, that's fine. I was gonna say, we probably shouldn't be attacking Apophis. That's not a good move. But the Juggernaut's fine. There we go. I don't think that I'm going to be able to defend this. Oh, you're just going to go for it, huh? Alright. Let's go then, huh? Want a tango? Where are you going? I almost have ult. I'm going to come in from the side specifically so I can get a better ult. Or not. Yeah? Now what are you going to do? Exactly. No, you don't. Yemoja can get very stupid very quickly. Okay, we're going to fall back here. Oh, I timed that wrong. 100% my fault. Oh, never mind, they surrendered. Alright. I was hoping to show you a full build for Yemoja. Unfortunately, she is... And I hope this demonstrates just how incredibly powerful her early game really can be. Once we got Gauntlet of Thebes, we were able to basically do whatever we want. And keep in mind, it's very important that you realize that I was playing fairly defensively when I had Gauntlet of Thebes still in the works, right? I really didn't pressure until I had that at least mostly stacked. I think I started getting aggressive at about the 47 stacks because it took me a little while to get those last 3 stacks because I was going pretty hard there. But it's very... That was a great demonstration of how powerful her early game can be and how easy it is to snowball with Yemoja. Now, obviously, it's a team game. Oh, you know, Yemoja's so strong, she's always first ban. This is one of the reasons why she's first pick, first ban. But it's really because of the opportunities that she opens up with that early game. Yes, her damage is fairly impressive in the early game, but that's not what's scary about her. What's scary about her is that chain that I was showing you of the slow, then the stun, then the slow, then the stun. You'll notice I was able to really consistently do that once I got Pridwin, and it would have been even easier and even more consistent once I finished Shogun's Kusari, right? It's incredibly important to have cooldowns. If you don't know what to build as a support, cooldowns are the answer, okay? But I was able to set up so much for my allies because of that really nice, consistent chain. All I needed was Pridwin and Thebes. And this really, I mean, my starter item typically changes with the Yemoja. I built War Flag here because, again, as I pointed out earlier, the enemy team was very high in damage, very low in defense. So I knew War Flag, by increasing the amount of damage my allies could put out, would actually give them the edge. Now notice that Jormungandr, he did the correct thing here. He built Sentinel's Gift, because probably Crippled Cookies realized, I'm the only frontline, I need to be as tanky as possible, and this is true. You may look at Jormungandr's performance of 0-5 and think, oh, that's terrible. Jormungandr did the best with what they had. They were the only front line. They were absorbing 100% of the damage. Usually, as was the case in this particular instance with our team, it's split between the support, which was me in this case, and the Shiva, who was the warrior, who was the Shiva in this case, right? Jormungandr did not have a parallel warrior to work with, to bounce off of, to help protect him. Basically, Shiva was protecting me, I was protecting Shiva, we were locking down the enemy. Shiva's pull was really useful a lot of the time. Shiva was doing some incredible damage. I straight up stole 2 of those kills, so I'm gonna just give myself... ideally, I would have had 2 kills, 1 death, 13 assists. I stole 2 kills. That was actually a bad thing because that took away from the Hera and the Freya. You'll notice Hera and Freya are below my level. That's how you know that I wasn't quite as careful as I could have been and should have been. I was a little too gung-ho. There were 2 kills that I was fine with. Obviously, the collie that was under tower at the end there, that was very important that I finish her off. No one else was going to pick that up. I had to pick that up because I was the only one there in range to do so. That made sense. There was another one where I killed Vulcan. That was not... I didn't intentionally kill him, but I didn't mind killing him either, because Shiva was under tower and was tanking, and I wanted Shiva to be able to get out of there, and obviously Shiva wasn't going to be able to get out of there until the Vulcan was dead. So that was accidental, but it was also one that I didn't mind. I was aware when I threw that bubble that he was going to die, or not that he was going to die, he probably was going to die, and that was fine with me. You'll notice that I mentioned a couple times where I deliberately didn't use an ability because I didn't want it to accidentally steal a kill, and the Hera and the Freya really should have been higher than me. It was more because I accidentally stole mostly the Hera's kills, I would say. I know there was 1 kill I stole away from Argus there, but the Jormungandr didn't have a whole lot to work with. Now, building Mystical Mail was a mistake. I'm going to be really honest about that. That when you're the only tank, you really don't have... With certain rare exceptions, and Jormungandr is not one of them, you really don't want Mystical Mail. It's not enough defense, not enough defensive stats on this to justify this when you're the only frontline. He really should have built Breastplate of Valor for cooldowns. That would have been really strong. Pridwin would have been really good. Actually, probably Pridwin would have been the ideal option here as well. But... yeah, I built War Flag specifically to really put that pressure on with my allies, to help my allies do all that damage, as much damage as possible. Basically, try to out-damage the enemy team was my goal here, using War Flag, and that worked out really well. Again, Shogun's Kusari would have really helped. I probably would have gone into Talisman of Energy as my final item. Well, maybe, maybe not. I'm not really sure what I would have built as my final item. I definitely would have built... either Witchblade or possibly Midgardian Mail as my physical protections, or possibly even Contagion. Pretty good item on her. They didn't have enough healing for that. Nah, I wouldn't have built Contagion. But anyways, that's how potent Yemoja can be in the early game, and why she's first pick, first ban. It's that chain on her first ability, the slow into the stun, to the slow into the stun. It's incredibly powerful in the early game, and it can really allow your allies to snowball. I mean, just the amount of damage Neith and Freya were able to do when I was able to lock down someone like that. Most frequently Jormungandr, because not the greatest escape on Jormungandr, and that's, again, not Crippled Cookie's fault. But, be that as it may, I hope this really demonstrates to you why Yemoja is so widely feared. While the previous Conquest episode was really good at demonstrating the overall basics of Yemoja, I don't think it really emphasized what makes Yemoja scary to see in a battle, right? And I think this really showcased why Yemoja can be so dangerous if played correctly, if put in at least decent hands, right? You don't have to be intensely skilled with the Yemoja to pull that off, you just really need to understand that rhythm. Once you figure that out, you're halfway done to mastering Yemoja, in all honesty. With that being said, thank you all very much for joining me. If you liked this, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, please ignore me. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, suggestions, or requests, please leave them down in the comment section below. And yeah, thank you all very much for joining me, and have a great 24 hours.